right, cool.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my
Fire
goodness.
podcast.
Yes,
This is
Fire Podcast,
with Marie.
aka Maui. And I'm here with my special guest today. And would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Gerard Victor.
Yes, Gerard Victor is a longtime friend, an amazing individual, an artist of many sorts. I could probably spend like an hour giving so many accolades to him, but I'd like to explore that throughout this interview. So,
Okay.
Gerard, how have you been? Like, how's this holiday season been for you?
It's been very interesting. It's my son's second Christmas. Yeah,
Wow.
he's 2.5. The thing is, it's like having a child. You don't know. He doesn't know what Christmas is. He just knows unwrapping gifts.
He knows gifts.
So, like, I could just give him a gift whenever. And he's so used to being spoiled with gifts that anytime an Amazon box comes, he's like, "Oh, it's mine." I'm like, "Probably." Probably. But no, it's been cool. I got some things, but I mean, I think to me Christmas is every day because
Hmm.
it's like I have the gift of opening the two gifts every day. These eyes.
I love that. No, that's so empowering, and it's such a blessing to kind of check yourself and being like, what's really important in life. So,
Hmm.
I love that you have that outlook. So, kind of checking it down. You are Filipino.
Hmm.
Are you 100% Filipino or
I mean, what is Filipino? From the Philippines, but I know I have Spanish in me and I have
real talk?
um Chinese, I guess, but I don't know.
You never
Like,
done those 23andMe?
well, the thing about the
Not
funny thing about
sponsored.
23andMe or any of those things, I think that's all bullshit because we all come from one place.
Mm,
I'm not going to dive into that because it might be um, perceived in a certain way, but it's like we all come from one main source, which is Africa.
mm,
It's like that's where the original people are. So, despite everything, it's like we're just variations of the original human.
I see.
And it's like, why I think 23andMe and all these genetic things are bullshit?
Mm,
Because anytime you go to a crime scene, they have blood splatters everywhere. You could be like, okay, the fucking the suspect was Irish and German, and no, they don't know who the fuck did it.
mm-hmm.
So I just like I mean, there is genetic code variations, but I don't think there's enough to like pinpoint. Oh well, Maui came from the tribe from Hawaii that came from overseas extrapolating spam from California.
Right.
No, like the fuck? We're all one human being. Like there's just different shades of us, but
We came from a source. Yes, I hear you.
one source.
Um, so I've known you for as long as over a decade,
Hmm.
and we met at Wayne State.
Yep.
So
Warriors.
Wayne State Warriors. I'm like repping the gear, so shout out to our alma mater. Um,
Dropout I am.
you know what? I will just say I did graduate for all those who are wondering. But yes, besides the point, um, you kind of explored your options in college. What allowed you to have a little bit more of a focus, a focal point in your life?
I mean, like what I do as a career as a music video director, it was something that I didn't grow up wanting to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things that just happened. It's like when I creatively, because it's like I did music back in the day. Ever since I was a kid, I always was in the creative field because it's like I wanted to. Anytime I heard a jingle when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh shit, I have a better variation of that." Or I always had creative ideas
Yeah.
of how a commercial could be. So I like, and then in high school, I excelled in marketing.
Mm.
So I thought when I went to college, I was going to be like creative director
Yeah.
I was going to be a creative director at an advertising agency,
Sure.
and I was still dabbling around in music because I used to do music back in the day.
What kind of
And
music?
uh, I mean, I mean, if you want me to be vulnerable, it's like I always thought I could be a R&B singer,
Fair.
because I love R&B music. But the problem is, it's like I went over to my boy's studio, recorded, went back home, let my mom listen to it, and she's like, "Here's the thing, I think you're tone deaf." Automatically killed
Wow.
everything. And then I just, after hearing my voice, My boy's like, wait, why don't you rap? I'm like, man, what? Me rap? What am I gonna rap about? I grew up in the suburbs, you know?
Fair.
It's like upper middle class. Like I had no struggles. But I only
Different
anyways,
struggles.
I guess just I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't have any struggles, but it's like I wasn't in a situation because I know rap music is based on this is how we get over here, you know?
Mhm.
It's talking about the poetry and whatnot. And only thing I knew how to rap about was women.
Mm,
And so LL Cool J was my archetype. And it's like, even back in the day, it's like I only rapped about girls because
fair.
that's the only thing I knew about. I didn't know about selling drugs.
Well, okay, so you had a little bit of a cleaner lifestyle,
I mean,
nonetheless.
yeah, I went to Montessori and went to private school first through fifth. And then when we moved to the suburbs, I
Mhm.
went to a public school and a good, very good public school, which I met a bunch of my lifelong friends.
Awesome.
So, I mean, again, it's like, you know, the Filipino household, when you want to put your kids in the best scenario. And that brings me to this meme that I found.
What meme?
Filipino career options, doctor, lawyer, engineer, or disgrace to the family. So I obviously chose number four, and that's why I trailblazed my situation. But back to my career path.
Sure.
So with the music stuff, I had a recording studio. My boy brought his friend over. He rapped. I was like, damn, this shit is sweet as hell.
Mhm.
He left. That was in 2017. It was a guy named Rose Spit. He now, I mean, he just acquired Burn Rubber, and he had
Burn
a
rubber
Burn
is
Rubber is a sneaker boutique, also
lovely.
218. But I was like, when he left, I got his CD. It was Octane and Elite. That was his old rap name. Elite was the other rapper. It was like the sweetest music I ever heard. So what I did, I think that year I got 2017. My dad got me a DSLR, a 400D, a Rebel XTI.
Wow.
And I used to, since I was a graphic designer, because ever since had a computer back in '96, I always fucked around,
Mhm.
like even fixing my report cards and like silly shit,
Before
fraud.
Photoshop came along.
No, I think I was still fucking around with Photoshop, but
Okay,
you know,
fair.
but so I was an indirect graphic designer. So all my boys always sent me their, hey, can you do my single cover? Can you make my album cover?
Mhm.
And then I used to bitch all the time because I'm like, bro, all these photos are trash. I'm sure I could take better photos than that. So what I did when I got my camera, I took them on as a passion project.
Okay.
And because I Googled them, I couldn't find shit. I was like, oh shit, this is like important. Visuals are very important.
Yes.
So what I did, I was like, hey, really believe in you guys. Can I just start shooting your shit?
Mm,
You don't even got to pay me. It's like I just believe in you guys so much,
right.
and it's like I have an eye from what people
You
told
got
me.
2. Sorry, just had to drop that.
Yeah, but it's easier to no, but
Yeah, no, I hear you.
yeah. So everyone started seeing all the photos I took for them, and then I think a year, yeah, and then people were like, oh, let me give you money to take my photos. Like, what the fuck?
What?
Like paying me to do what? All right, sure. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Like, because I didn't learn photography. I didn't learn what I'm
You
doing
didn't go
now.
to school
I
for
didn't go
it.
to school for it. I
Yeah.
was going to school for marketing. And then fast forward a year later, 2018, my younger brother, he wanted to shoot skateboarding videos. He
Mhm.
let me borrow his HV20 camcorder. It was tape. It was like mini DVs.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, I knew I was a good photographer, so I was like, I wonder if I could make my pictures move.
Hmm.
I took the same concept where it's like, I took my boy's music. I was like, let me shoot a video. I just want to see how it's gonna look.
Right. Just
I
experiment.
shot a music video, and this was like around the time that YouTube just kind of started, or not really started, but was like a place where people got to view shit.
Mhm.
And that was when they first introduced the HD button because I had 1080. That
Mhm.
was like the thing.
Right.
So when I dropped that video in December 2018, people were like, why does his video look so crispy? Because everyone's doing 360p, 480p. I had
That's delicious.
1080.
Mhm.
And I mean, you could still look up that video. It's still very clean imagery. Shout out to Sony. And that's where it took off. Like I had while I was going to school, I had a graphic design job at a real estate company doing all their graphics.
Mhm.
And I started getting phone calls like, hey, man, um, I got 600 bucks. Can you shoot my music video? I was like, 600 bucks? What
Like,
the fuck?
that's
Like,
crazy.
bro, I wasn't making that in a week at
Right.
fucking working 40 hours. It's like,
Trust.
I'm like, sure, to do what? To figure some shit out? Anyways, a shot. And then after that, 1,500 to 3,500, I was like, oh shit. Everyone started seeing all my work and they're like, yo, I think you should really look into this shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, so fast forward 15 years later, I'm here.
I love that. Thank you again for listening to Heart on Fire podcast, or if you're viewing, we appreciate you all. And if you would like or subscribe or follow wherever you are tuning in, feel free to. And feel free to follow us on our Instagram page at heartonfire.podcast. And of course, we always want to empower you and say you are enough. And now let's continue on with the show. I love that. Obviously, we'll kind of explore a little bit more of the details. I don't know if you remember when we were at Wayne State. We were in a subway, and I just remember you were in a corporate looking style get up. You had your suit, you had tie, you had your black messenger bag. We were meeting for lunch, and then you were like, "I can't do this anymore." And I was like, "Do what?" You're like, "This." And then I was like, "Oh, okay. So what do you want to do with your life?" You're like, "I think I should shoot videos." And I was like, "How are you going to go about doing that?" And you're like, "I got a buddy of mine that has been doing that and is kind of like experimenting." And you were like, "I think I'm going to do that."
Oh man. You know what's funny? I vaguely remember that scenario.
hmm
I'm trying to think how long ago that was.
I mean, we were at the student center. So wherever the subway was at that time when we actually had that conversation,
I remember walking and I
it
remember
had to have been less than
it had to be like 12, 13 years ago.
easily.
Cause it's like I think I just started doing videos, right?
hmm
And then I was like, because that was the thing. It's like, how do I create a sustainability, especially that there was no real outlook on this? And
Right.
I remember when I first started doing music videos, when I was like looked at all the videos that were up and coming, it's like one of the people that really stood out to me was Rick Cordero. Rick Cordero was a New York-based director, and he's also Filipino. I was like, oh shit,
Shout out to
Filipino
him.
director.
Let's
Started
see.
looking up all his stuff, but all his shit was fire.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, it's like Rick had a very similar background. He was a DJ and all this other shit. I was like, oh, I was a DJ too. And, when I saw him come up the ranks, I was like, oh shit, that was my thread of there's a possibility I could fucking do this.
Right.
And, shout out to like me coming across like knowledge and stuff like that. And I know that shit doesn't happen overnight. So I
True.
was down to get busy,
Mhm.
especially the fact that all odds were against me, the fact that I decided to drop out of school.
Yes.
My mom was like, how are you going to get rich?
Of
Like,
course.
what's your career path?
Right.
It's like, I'm like, bro, let me just prove y'all wrong.
Shout out to the Filipino moms. We
And,
love you.
yeah, because it's like this is an untraditional career
Very
path,
much so.
but it is a career path now because it's like media and content is the number one thing that everyone needs.
Mhm.
I was just, I guess, essentially at the forefront at that time, and then on top of that, Detroit was such a there was only so much in Detroit at the time because when I first started, there was only a handful of directors, but I
Right.
only had I was such a distinct look and style because my influences when I was younger was watching Hype Williams videos,
Mhm.
Benny Boom, Lil X, all the fucking big production videos from back in
Right.
the day. I figured, fuck it, I could emulate that, and
Totally.
that's kind of like what how my career kind of started. And it's like I don't know, just I just knew that one of the things that I came across early on was manifestation
Mhm.
and also the 10,000 hour rule.
Mm.
So what I did, I was like, bro, this is just a mathematical equation. Like to get to where I needed to be a master of my craft, it was the 10,000 hour rule. Shout
Yeah.
out to Simon Sinek, which created that. It was from the book Outliers. But to be a master of craft, for people that understand, is the 10,000 hour rule. You got to spend 10,000 hours to be a master at what you wanted to do. Since I didn't know shit about music or shit about production because I didn't go to film school,
Mhm.
I just had to learn trial by fire. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But I
Absolutely.
also surrounded myself with the people that knew what they were doing
Of
because I
course.
was like, man, fuck that. I'm not about to go to school for that.
Mhm.
It's like I have a camera. I could just start creating right now.
Mhm.
So with that 10,000 hour rule, I was like, all right, cool. 10,000 hours equates to 40 hours a week for 5 years straight.
Right.
I just knew when I started in 2018, I literally had to just outwork everybody.
basically.
And I did. It's like, being at the right place, right time with the right work got me at 2018 to get to Fabolous, which was one of my favorite artists. Like I had a list of artists that I wanted to work with
And
back
he
in
was
the
one
day.
of your top.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite artists, and by chance, my business partner now, he's from Toledo, Maui, and he saw my work because of the stuff I did in Detroit, and also the stuff that I did with a artist from Detroit that was his boy,
Hmm.
Mo Dirty. Mo Dirty introduced me to Dusto, which is from Toledo, and then I shot a video because I had that stylistic look. I was very unique
Yeah.
with my visuals. Molly saw it, and he's like, "Yo, you want to work with Fab?" I mean, I'm giving the abridged version because there's like a deeper way of how all this shit
Fair.
panned out. But he was working with Fab at the capacity of Soul Tape 2, and then I think in 2013 of Soul Tape 3, and he was saying that the thing that Fab was missing was consistent visuals. He's like,
Yes.
"Yo, Fab, give this guy from Detroit a shot."
That's
Drove out
dope.
to New York, shot everything was the same in 2013, and Fab came to a liking with me, and we did shit.
You guys did a handful of
No, we
videos.
did
Yeah.
about 23 videos. I did
Dang.
I did Me and Fab had like a 7-year legacy of videos.
Wow.
I mean, like he took me from Detroit.
Of
Like I
course.
just fucking ninja smoked out of this bitch
Yeah.
because saw that was an opportunity, and that's like by being in New Jersey, New York, it just opened my talents up to the world because of the visibility.
Of course.
And then, I still applied the 10,000 hour rule because, like, for me, I was like, oh, I want to be a bigger director. Okay, cool. Now, after the 5 years, I got to one of my favorite artists.
Yes.
Then I started getting to work with Wiz Khalifa, and like the list goes on. And then I was like, you know what I'm missing? I'm missing a fucking hit record because I
Mm.
feel like that's what I need as a director.
Yeah.
Same rules applied. Let me keep chucking away, chucking away, chucking away. 2018, I got put a date on it, which is Yo Gotti and Lil Baby. Over
Wow.
200 million views.
That's insane.
But here's the fucked up part about it. I thought that video was going to be a dub, so I didn't even put my name on it.
Wow.
And we joked about it on set because manifestation is real. I was like,
Right.
"Oh, this video is probably going to be trash. Watch, I'm not going to
So
put my
bad.
name on it." And my business partner Molly was laughing. He was like, "Bro, watch. This is probably going to be your biggest video," and it fucking is.
That's
Luckily,
amazing.
there's BTS, so you see, like,
Your hand in it.
yeah. But
Hmm.
regardless, when there's fire, there's smoke. So if people want to work with you, they're gonna go find you.
Absolutely.
And
So, yeah, no, sorry to cut you
no,
off.
no, no. And then same thing with me. Like right now, this oh no, actually soon before the end of the year, this is gonna be my another fifth year. So my transition now is gonna be long form because
Hmm.
it's like it's time for me because God blessed me with a writer that's very, very, very good.
Hmm.
And that was the thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you do movies? Why don't you move movies?" I was like, "Give me a good fucking story, because
Yeah.
anybody can shoot shit.
Right.
Like a story is the structure for everything. It's just like fucking a song. Like you could have
Exactly.
the coolest song ever, but if you ain't talking about shit, like what is the longevity of it?"
Exactly.
And I wasn't trying to blow my load on some bullshit.
Hmm. No,
So
that's real. No, I really appreciate the breadth of time that you realize you needed in order to enact what you need to reach your goals.
yeah,
And you know that it doesn't happen overnight. And so I really appreciate that you literally persevered, you were determined, you have a lot of creative eye, which you were blessed with, and you were able to utilize that so that people can see what gifts you bring to the table. And the fact that people were able to recognize and give you an opportunity just by you being present in the right places, right spaces, you obviously have quite a breadth of career to date.
yeah. I mean, like shout out back to my parents because it's
Mhm.
like I was brainwashed as a child. It's like they gave me Brian Tracy books. They gave me all these motivational content things that just made me think that I couldn't do shit. I
Mm.
mean, that meaning that I was unstoppable. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, because it's like, even with the music video thing, it's this really manifestation. That's what I try to explain to people. I'm like,
Right.
bro, you come up with an idea, you come up with a treatment, and then you execute and deliver.
Mhm.
And that you literally see an idea come into fruition.
Right. That's so good. And I think I remember when I was like catching up with you, I don't know how long ago it was, but it's just like when there's so many hours you have in a day, it's like, how do you enact like what's priority? And I remember you telling out loud, you're like, you kind of prioritize the top things that you need to happen in that day,
Hmm.
and then everything else will just, if they get done, they get done. If not, you got tomorrow,
Yeah.
at the next, and whatever.
Like because the thing is, it's like I have a tattoo on my arm that says 168, which is 168 hours in a week.
Mm,
That's the same amount of time that me, you, the richest person in the world, Beyonce, Jay Z, fucking Elon Musk. Time is the ultimate equalizer. It's how you
hmm.
utilize that time.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was like, bro, what I do is not easy, but it's gratifying if you put in the hours.
right.
Just like anything, it's like investing or fucking saving up bread.
No, totally. So, apart from being able to work with your top favorite artists, what other artists have you been able to work with that has left a mark on your heart and, forever changed you?
Man, um, I feel like I've been around so many different artists that I can't really say one or the other, but
Hmm.
it's like I think one of the ones that really
Stood out.
stood out was, working with my favorite artist back in high school was Fabolous. It's
Hmm.
like we became friends over the course of our relationship, and I got to travel the world, and also I got to really create with somebody.
Hmm.
It's like because in the music video industry, if people don't know, it's like a lot of the shit, you just walk into a situation blind. You don't even have no rapport with artists. You can't have creative back and forth. You
Hmm.
can only do it with an artist that is new or an artist that you have rapport with.
Yeah,
But yeah, this game is like peekaboo.
I hear you on
But I
that.
mean, I've worked with everybody, so everyone has their unique traits, just like people.
Of course, of course. And so, outside of that, you explained that you've traveled the world. What like countries have you traveled to, and like, what cultures have you experienced that have left you, you know,
From music
memorable?
videos,
From music
um,
videos to just experiencing the cultures.
shit. I think the very first year with Fab, we went to Dubai.
Mm,
That was cool. I've been to Dubai twice. Uh, we went to London, then we went to. I mean, this was all in the same year. We went to Japan, went to Singapore, we went to Colombia, we went to. I mean, I've been to Costa Rica. We went to DR. We went to Puerto Rico. I mean, this one was with Fab. This was with other artists.
mhm.
Uh, where else? Oh, I went to the Bahamas. That was cool.
Right on.
That was with Fab. Bu- 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 I think the most favorite country that I've been to so far, which is beautiful, was Cabo Verde.
Oh.
Yeah, Cape Verde, which is on the coast of West Africa.
Hmm.
It's literally just it's like Africa's version of Hawaii. It is beautiful. The people there are beautiful. There's a lot of rich culture, and also there was so much history in there because I
Hmm.
didn't realize it's like that's where because a lot of people there speak Portuguese, and there
Okay.
was just a mix from the Africans and the Portuguese people. And I also didn't know that that was the route where they brought people over from Africa and distribute them to all the other countries.
Hmm.
Did not know that. It was
Interesting.
like a port.
Wow.
It
Well,
was very I mean, I can't wait to go back. We met the government over there, and they're like, "Yo, just bring whoever over," because that's a hidden gem, and people are unaware of that. There's so many islands there, and each island is unique,
solid.
and there's no animals there, which is crazy. The only thing that they had there was flies,
Hmm.
but there was no like spiders. There's no like insects. It was
No
literally just
snakes.
no,
Wow.
because it was made from volcanoes. There was nothing there
Hmm. Well,
unless you bring shit over there,
unless you,
and
yeah,
just
you bring
like
stuff
but
over.
no, there
Yes,
was nothing.
imports.
I
Yeah.
was like, that was what I was afraid. I was like, there's fucking jungles. If there's nothing in these jungles, bet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She done, son. She been done. She done did it.